on Monday is your calc test. If you are taking AP Bio, you will take this test on Wednesday. Okay, so both Monday and Wednesday will be testing days in here. If you're here on Monday, you're taking the test. If you're not here Monday, you're taking it Wednesday. If you were here Monday, then on Wednesday, you're going to get something that you like are silently on task. So we're going to do some FRQ practice, but it means silent. Like you cannot work in groups. You have to be quiet because they're now in a testing environment. Okay. The test consists of 12 questions that are multiple choice, 12 multiple choice questions that are calc based. Now they don't, as you go through these practices, you hopefully have realized it doesn't mean you have to have a calculator for that question. It just means a calculator doesn't help you in those questions. So either it's a question that you has to have a calculator, you have to run a regression or whatever it is, or it's a question in which, like you'll get one in today's practice that's about function notation, in which the calculator has no help for you. Those kinds of questions will be on the test. And then you're getting one FRQ, and it could be like FRQ number 1 or FRQ number 2 because those are the calc-based FRQs. And actually, you'll get it in the reverse order. I'm going to give you the FRQ first because that's on paper. You'll work on that while I walk around and put in the access code for the multiple choice. Okay, but combined, you get the 45 minutes. So this is a PDF released one. That's why I'm able to post it. But I posted it as an assignment on Canvas, and it will attach to the other one that you have to go through lockdown for, because this is a sample of what FRQ1 looks like. So FRQ1 typically looks something like this. There's not a whole lot of variation. What will change is it's going to give you two functions. One function is typically a chart, or it is a graph. The second function is usually an equation, okay? And then it will ask you to do things like that. Composite functions, inverse functions, zeros, or define where it's at a specific value using the calculator. Talking about end behavior using limit notation, it could say increases or decreases without bound. Okay, so watch for that. And then this one asks you to classify the data as best, linear, quadratic, exponential, or log. For that question, you can use your R-squareds to see which one is the best. But then for II, it says give a reason for your answer based on the relationship between the change in output and the change in input. So you can't write it has the best R-squared. You have to say, okay, if this was linear, then it means that my first difference or my rate of change is constant. If it's quadratic, then the rate of change is constant. If it's exponential, then as my input values change additively, my output values change multiplicatively. Log, reverse. As my input values change multiplicatively, the output values change additively, okay? The other type of end to this, like instead of C being this, C could also be, is it invertible? So how do we know if a function is invertible?
Each output has a different input.
Good. So we would go, if it's the chart, we would look at the chart and see if the Y gets repeated with a different input, right? If it does, that's a no. If it doesn't, it's a yes. If it's the function, we would look at our graph and we would actually look at our horizontal line test, okay? But remember, it'll say Y. So if it's a Y, it is not invertible, then each output must be mapped from a unique input. You cannot say horizontal line test, okay? And it will say specifically use the values in here to justify. So let's say that, like, let's just say this also said -10 here. Then I would have said this is not invertible. And the reason is each output is not mapped from a unique input. Specifically f of 1 and f of 3 both equal -10. So you have to specifically give a reason why, okay? Questions on FRQ1. So it could be that one, or it could be FRQ2. FRQ2 has variation, but typically gives you some sort of real world scenario. It'll give you its function. This function could be exponential, linear, quadratic. This one's log, but there will be an A and a B in there. Part 1, give an equation used to solve, and you literally plug in the input and the output. Part 2, solve for A and B. If it's something you can use a regression for to solve, then you can use that. If not, it will be an equation you can solve without the regression. Then it talks about rate of change. By now, we should hopefully know how to find rate of change. Use the rate of change to predict something. And then always the end is a little different. And that's why you're not going to get like a perfect practice on this. It will give you some sort of a, what about the rate of change in comparison to the data? Is the rate of change an overestimate and underestimate? Is it a good predictor? And the further away it gets, the worse of a predictor it is. Is it, so all of that, like this, it's not gonna be the exact same thing, but there will be some sort of reflection on your rate of change, okay? So the test on Monday and Tuesday will be one of these full FRQ 6 parts. Questions as far as test goes? Okay, all right.